All right, let's move on to the Summit League, where we have another big favorite, not as big as Vermont, but South Dakota State's minus 175 to win this tournament. It's an 8-team tournament in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. No buys. North Dakota didn't make it. They're the odd man out. But there is an advantage for the top 2 seeds. And the top 2 seeds, they both have easy round 1 games. So you play 2 of the worst teams that made the tournament. They should cruise by. But you also get a day off before the second round. So it's actually a 4-day. So it's no buys, 18 tournament, but the 1 and 2 seeds. So the 1 plays the 8 and the 2 plays the 7 on day 1. Then there's day 2 where the 3 and 4 seeds play. And then everyone plays the next day and then the next day. So you actually get a day off in between if you're the 1 or 2 seed, which can be advantage because the other, if you're a 3 or 4, you got to win 3 games in 3 days. So if you're Oral Roberts, I think there might be a lot of Oral Roberts love out there after what they did last year. O'Banner's no longer there, but Max Asmus is. He will have to go nuts, which he is capable of doing, and win 3 games in 3 days. They're right around 5-1. North Dakota State's right around 5-1 as well. They're the 2 seed. UMKC, the Roos, are 12-1. They got one of their better players back late in the year, started to play better. And South Dakota, 15-1. Their offense got a lot better towards the end of the year. And then Western Illinois, 25-1. I think these are the only teams that have a shot. Western Illinois, 0 depth whatsoever, faded down the stretch. I don't think that there's any chance whatsoever. I think that this is a pretty fairly priced market, but I could see arguments for, one of the 2 or 3 seeds if you fancy one of them. Maybe you do, BJ. What do you see here?
I actually really love South Dakota State at this price, given the fact that how easy I believe their path to the final is probably going to be. They're going to play Nebraska Omaha in the first one. They're going to be 25-point favorites. They should cruise by that. Just going to cruise.
Truck.
They're just kidding. Nebraska Omaha, they're, I believe on Ken Palm, they're 7th worst defense in adjusted defensive efficiency. And for those who don't know and haven't watched South Dakota
State's offense is a machine.
They are without a doubt the best mid-major offense in college basketball. It's not even close. What's crazy is that, so they're the number 1 team in the country in half-court points per possession. They're number 2 in transition. They are the number 1 team in 3-point field goal percentage. But if you look at shot quality, it's actually legit. Like their shot quality 3-point percentages have around 44%. They are an unbelievable offense. And if you go through all of their shot quality scores in conference play, only 1 team has gotten within 9 points, and it was Oral Roberts in the second conference game of the season. So they have just been trucking everybody. Now there's some results have come, a little, closer. Obviously the Oral Roberts game comes to mind, second to last game before the season ended, where that went to overtime and South Dakota State escaped by 4. But what's interesting is that game, South Dakota State closes a minus 3.5 point favorite and minus 165 on the money line. So if you take away about 3 points of home court advantage, South Dakota State's, if they cruise to the final like they should, because, against South Dakota and UMKC, neither of those teams came within 10 points of them in both meetings. They're probably gonna be minus 7.5 point favorites over Oral.
And Oral will be playing its 3rd game in 3 days if they get there.
So they'll be well over minus 250 on the money line. So at minus 175, I think you're getting really a discount here, unless something catastrophic happens in the first 2 games, which obviously can happen. It's March, but I think the path is just too easy for South Dakota State to get to that final. So I think you're getting a discount here on them at minus 175. You mentioned Western Illinois. I kind of like their offense is pretty efficient. I kind of like them. Their defense is absolutely horrific, but the 2 games against Oral Roberts, they won one and hung with them in the other one. And then they also beat North Dakota State as well and barely lost for the other one. So like you said, they have no depth, and that's why they're 25-1, but they're also kind of interesting to potentially get to the final. But for me, I do like this price on South Dakota State. I'm kind of a little bit surprised it's not getting up into, minus 200s, like similar to where like Colgate is at in the Patriot League. But obviously, that tournament is campus sites, but still, I love this South Dakota State team. Selfishly, I really want them to make the tournament. They're going to be so much fun, and a team to really pick as an upset in the first round. Bracket Matrix has them as a 12 right now, 12 or 13. And some of the teams they'd play would be, Houston, Arkansas, Texas, Alabama, maybe even Providence. That would be, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. But yeah, for me, it's South Dakota State or nothing here.
Yeah, it's North Dakota State has some good size. They're healthy and they're a little intriguing to me, but not enough to get involved. And Oral Roberts, I mean, look, Asmus did it last year. They won 3 games in 3 days, and he went off and they won the tournament. But I think I would need a little more to get involved here. So yeah, pass for me, but I don't mind your argument. You're right. Just from a pure price perspective, South Dakota State should get to the final. And then they should be higher than -165. And that's assuming that there's no like other upsets on the other end too, right?
Right.
You could have someone else get knocked out and make an improbable run to the final, and then South Dakota State could cruise.